All right, thank you for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about naming ranges and using name ranges in Excel. So just as a quick review, we want to kind of discuss cells. If you notice, every cell has a name. For instance, this one is called B7, B4, A5, and ranges, what we'll be working with, consist of multiple cells. So if we look up in the name box, we see that the number of rows and columns selected is listed there. But what we want to do is we want to name this range. We want to name this selected box that we just created. So we're going to get to that. Now, as I said before, multiple cells make up a range, but they don't always have to be continuous. For instance, a range can be a scattering of cells. And the way I do this is simply hold down the control button and select the cells that I want, or the group of cells that I want. I can do the same thing by if I select a cell here, such as an A3, and I go down to A11, I hold down the shift button and I select there. It selects that range right there. So that's how we get continuous and non-continuous cell ranges. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and select this range right here. It's random, and I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it any. We'll go ahead and do that. Caps any underscore range. I hit enter. It centers itself. I know that it's accepted the range. Now, if I go up here to the name box and I pull the drop down menu down, we'll see that any range is listed there. When I select it, those cells are selected. All right. Now, I can do the same thing with non-continuous cells as well. As before, I'll go ahead and name this range using the name box, any, and we'll call this any2 range. All right. Same as before. Here's the any range, and here's any2 range. All right. So if you notice over here, I have several areas that are shaded and highlighted different colors, and we're going to use those in our naming scheme. Very simply, we're going to select everything in the red, and we are going to call it the red range. Okay. And if you notice, we go here to the drop down. It's there. We select it, and it highlights everything in the red text area, the range that we created. So the benefit of using this is we can use this in our formulas for Excel. So for instance, if I do the max function, and I'm going to go red, and if you notice, Excel already recognizes the named range, and it offers to put it in there. So I'm going to select that. I close parentheses, and there's our value there. Now, so far, everything we've done, we've been using this naming box in order to name things. What we actually want to do is we want to go to the ribbon. We want to go under formulas. We actually want to go to the name manager. So here's a list of all of the ranges we've created so far, and we're going to do a new one. This one is going to be, we're going to call this one blue. Blue range. All right. But I want you to notice this is kind of important right here, the scope. Everything we've created so far using the name box is scoped to the entire workbook. This range, we want to just make it very specific. It'll only pop up in the name box when we are on sheet 1. That's what scope defines. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Also need to define the cells that are within our blue range. I'm going to go ahead and do that. There we go. We're going to tell it OK. Now whenever we look at our sheet, our name manager, we'll see that we have the names, we have the values within those ranges, we have what cells are referred to in those ranges, and we also have the scope. So I'm going to go ahead and do this by scope. We can also add comments. So if I would go here to the blue range that we just created, go to edit, and I'll say, this is blue. I'll tell it OK. All right. Now watch, I'm going to do the same thing using the blue range. I'm going to go equals max. It's going to choose that range, blue, pulled it up. Now notice our comment also pops up too. So we go here, enter it. There we go. And there's our max value there. So let's get a little more in depth with this. For instance, I had mentioned about the scope. So if I go here to the drop-down menu in the name box, here's all of our ranges just like they appear in the name manager. Now, they're all here. But if I go to sheet 2, let me switch. You won't see this. Okay, and I do the drop-down menu here. Notice that the blue range isn't here because it is scoped to sheet 1, while the rest of the ranges are scoped to the entire workbook. I'm going to go back to sheet 1 now. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this with a few more formulas in Excel. So briefly, I'm going to switch workbooks, and we'll see some more formulas and functions that we can use there. Okay, so we've gone ahead and switched workbooks where I already have some functions created for us to look over. So as you can see here, using the color naming convention that we've been using, I have a red range, a yellow range, a blue range, and an orange range, which consists of red and yellow, a purple range, which consists of the red and the blue, and then we have an any range, just like in the previous example, which consists of all of them. Now, if you look in the formula bar, you'll notice as I go down, each equation or each formula has those ranges listed in them. For instance, there's the max value with the red, yellow, blue, orange, purple, and with all of them. I can do the same thing with other functions such as the sum. I can do the same thing with the sum function. And we can also even do it with count. And what I'll do is I'll count the purple range. Let's see what happens when we do that. We go here. And if you notice, there's 20 total values in the purple range, which means there's 20 from the red range and the blue range, which makes sense because there's 10 in the red and 10 in the blue. And just kind of go here, and I just go ahead and delete this just as a quick way to do it. There's a better way, but we won't get into that right now. So hopefully now you have a better understanding of what name ranges are in Excel, how to create them for your own use, and how to better use them. If you found this video useful, then please click like and share this with others. Thank you.